Hey everybody, this year is the hottest year on record. We've already hit 1.5 degrees of warming. And in 2018 and again in 2023, the IPCC reports have said that every model for a stable climate requires carbon removal. And because of this science, we have a generation of entrepreneurs that have gone out to start carbon removal companies, including 166 graduates from the AirMiners Launchpad program. But these companies aren't getting the investment they need to succeed. They're not getting the customers they need to succeed. And they're not getting the reporting they need to succeed. The New York Times, for example, recently reported that proponents of carbon removal are the ones that say it's required. They don't say that it comes from the IPCC reports, the best climate scientists in the world saying that carbon removal is required. So if nothing new happens, if nothing changes, here's what's going to happen. Without investment, we're going to lose great carbon removal companies. They'll go out of business, and the founders are going to go find other things to do. The IPCC reports will continue to come out that carbon removal is required, and the media will continue to report that actually, you know what, it's just optional. But that whole time, the planet will continue to warm, and we'll miss out on the timing to iterate and build new solutions for climate change. The planet will continue to warm and will miss targets for 2030, 2040, and 2050, and that leaves us stuck with the worst impacts. We'll be stuck with war, famine, and drought. So imagine this week we shift that whole narrative. Imagine we get 100 million people talking all over the world about how carbon removal is required and not optional. That's where we go into COP29 in November and make it a historic year for carbon removal and the planet. Last year, the big message was that we need to transition away from fossil fuels. Let's make this year's big message that for a balanced climate, we need to transition away from fossil fuels and reduce excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere too. That's a world where journalists start to report on carbon removal as part of the climate puzzle 30 and be on track for the 10 billion tons per year needed by 2050 that's modeled in the IPCC reports. This is why we created Carbon Removal Day. The first one is this Thursday, October 3rd. Carbon removal is a new day. It's our day to join others around the world to launch the largest carbon removal effort in history. We get to declare a full solution to the climate challenge. That decarbonization and removal are required. It's where we get to get the whole planet united in our common interest of a stable climate and a thriving human civilization. October 3rd will be known as a global day when the world declared that we're going to reverse climate change and we're going to succeed. So join me and imagine that every one of us, all 2,500 air miners, all 10,000 people working in carbon removal, that we each connect to 100 people that we know in our lives. And those people connect with another 100. That's how we go about reaching 100 million people on the first carbon removal day. So here's some things you can share. You can write your friends. I'll include text below this message. You can schedule calls with your friends and your family. Share what you're working on. Tell them like, what the heck is this carbon removal stuff that you've been working so hard on? And you can come join us at AirMiners. We're hosting a wine and friends night. So you can bring a friend or two or 10 that love you but don't quite know what this carbon removal stuff is all about. And we're going to all talk about what the heck is carbon removal. We'll answer questions and we'll share why you're working on what you're working on. So let's make the first carbon removal day the first time that the world declared that we will reverse climate change and we will succeed.